Okay, so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. Check out, we're in another iconic location. We're in the Guinness factory, literally 30 seconds from my house. It's amazing. You'll see so many pictures of this on the internet. People come on holidays, they always seem to take this picture here. Anywhere you look on the interweb, it's there. Around the corner is the Guinness factory. I literally live 30 seconds walk around the corner. So I used to walk up and down here to school. I went to James's Street School. I used to walk up here at night or in the morning. It was dark. It was like something from Gotham. It was like something out of the Batman movie. It's absolutely beautiful. I used to come up here as well when I was a kid catching pigeons, because the lorries used to bring barley and all around to the stores, obviously, and it'd fall off, and a lot of pigeons and racing pigeons would land around here. Me and my mates, when we were kids, 10, 11, 12, we used to catch pigeons around here. It's beautiful. It's just lovely. I think it's Ireland's highest earning tourist attraction. You know, there's horse-drawn carriages, Brendan Mulroney, David Mulroney, Dave Horse and carriages there. Fantastic, well looked after horses. You know, it's a dying art, but these guys are really keeping it alive, and it's great to see. It's lovely. It's really an eye opener to come around here and have a look. You know, the structure, the history. It's brilliant, and obviously Guinness is lovely. It's absolutely a delish, mother's medicine, as they say. Just up to the right, you can't see it. There's a building, and it's quite significant to me, and I'll tell you why. It's a little story. I had a parrot years ago called Elvis, right? He was an African grey parrot. I think it was about 8 years ago, or 10 years ago. I was still parroting away at the time. I hadn't got him too long, but I got his wings clipped to stop him flying, and I had him out at my door. I live, to say, just down the road there, and I got his wings clipped so he couldn't fly away. And I brought him out to the door to talk to my mate Dave Collins. I've talked about him before. And I was showing him the board, and I was telling him about it. And with that, he tried to jump off my arm onto the railings. And I'll stop now while his car gone by. He jumped off my arm onto the railings, and a gust of wind caught him, and he took off like a fucking Harrier jet. He came out of the flats up towards us as we were sitting here, and up onto the ledge, right? So he had a little moped at the time. I jumped on. It was like something out Dumb and Dumber. I jumped on, no helm. I chased him all the way up here. I climbed up the building. Again, he took off again, and he went missing on me. So Elvis had left the building and he flew away. So I was going around for hours, putting posters around the area, trying to find him. And I got a call the next day. The DSPCA had him, and he was found down at Merchant's Quay. So Merchant's Quay is just off Christchurch, down the hill. It's quite iconic for religious people. You know, they've all retreats and all sorts of mass. I don't know too much about religion, but my ma goes there because she's mad into JC. But that's where he was found. But I was telling me ma, and she was like, there you go, St. Anthony found him for you. Go give him some money. So yeah, I was telling me mates, I was telling Dee about Elvis being found. Elvis was found at Merchant's Quay, so I have to give Anthony a few quid. There's another car gone by, so we'll kind of stop it a little bit. I'll wave to everybody. Hello. Yeah, so that's the crack. That's where we're at, Guinness's. So check it out. It's not too far from Meath Street. Loads of deadly pubs. There's Arthur's around the corner. It's a cool pub for food and drinks. As I say, there's loads to do around here. Loads of hipster bars and cafes. Check out the Dublin 8 area. Hopefully you're enjoying seeing it. I love the area. I'm mad about the Liberties, and I can't say enough about it. As I say, there's lots of shops down the Meath Street market and all that area. So yeah, check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. So our last interview was with Joe Doyle. Brilliant. I'm glad about the feedback. People really loved it. I loved it. I got so much from it. There's another car gone by, sorry. I got so much from it personally and professionally. We're implementing changes into our podcast. Another car, really sorry about the sound. We're implementing changes in the podcast. We're changing how we do things. I'm changing how my mindset even, you know. What was the saying he said? Do more, learn. What was the other one, Aaron? Do more, learn. Oh, we're fucking forgetting it. Can you help me? Come on, Aaron. Do more. Work and learn, was it? Work harder. Aaron's gone done. But anyway, we're implementing changes. So yeah, thanks a lot, Joe Doyle. If you haven't checked him out, please do. He's on Facebook. Joe Doyle Entrepreneur. Just put in Joe Doyle EN, it'll come up. If you can't spell entrepreneur, I couldn't. So yeah, that was brilliant. On the show today, today's interview is with Chris Fallon. Chris Fallon has the Facebook page, A Moment for Mindfulness. So I linked up with him on that page. I love all the stuff that you do. I love him as a person. We had great chats before the interview. We still keep in contact. We done the interview a while back and we're releasing it now. He's a really good guy. Great story. His story, he reformed drug addict. History with mental health, homelessness. Just lots of trauma in his life, but just seems to be doing well. Always looking out for human beings. He's really genuinely kind-hearted person that just wants to help, and he's just trying to find his path. I think he's going places. He does everything with the right spiritual intention, and the page is going from strength to strength. I think they've about 60,000 followers, and there's really a lot of people that engage in it. I know from talking to people in private chats on it that they're getting a lot from the page. So check them out. They're on Facebook. Listen to his story. It's absolutely fantastic. He's a good guy, really good guy. So check out Chris. He also writes amazing poetry and stories, and he puts up deadly posts. So yeah, hopefully you get a lot from this. There's another car going by, so we'll just quieten down a little bit. Really sorry about the stop-start, but I just think it's worth it, to have this interview here. So yeah, that's the interview coming up. Have a listen to it. As always, let us know what you think. I really appreciate your feedback. I love hearing what people are getting out of it. We're getting loads of stuff on Facebook. We're getting loads of feedback about the videos that we're doing as well. Yeah, so I have to keep stopping and starting because of the sound of the cars. Really sorry about this. Come on, go boy. Wave and wave. Yeah, so that's the crack. Have a listen. Get back onto us. Let us know what you think. As always, I'll ask you to mind your little self in service of the rest of the world. Be kind to you and practice gratuity. Think of something that you're grateful for today. Yes, you're the week on boy. And hold on to that and practice gratuity every day. Have a fantastic day and enjoy the podcast. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. On the show today, I'm joined by Chris A. Fallon. Chris, what's the crack?
I'm grand, man. How are you, Matt?
I am doing good. Guys, I've asked Chris to come on the podcast today because he is the creator of the Facebook page. Let me get this. AM/FM. Am I right?
Yeah, A Moment for Mindfulness.
A Moment for Mindfulness. An absolutely fantastic page. How are you doing?
I'm grand, actually. Grand. Just chilling out.
Chilling like a villain.
Lovely little walk coming here.
Welcome to the Liberties.
It's fucking awesome. I love the colourfulness, and the sunny day brought it out more, so it was absolutely daily to come through and to find the place first off.
Fair play, and you came early.
I came early.
You're a legend. I'm OCD about turning up early for things, so
yeah,
fair play to
you. Be present.
Deadly. And you even got to see a crazy man feeding the cat.
Yeah, I even got to see a crazy man feeding a cat last night. Like, I mean, some kind of knowledge that there's goodness in the world, so.
There is goodness in the world. What is it about seeing people with animals? It's just, there's no judgment there with animals, isn't it? When you see people feeding animals, you can be really present with them. I don't know what it is.
I feel their energy. I think they're more, they resemble more with the character of the person, and they can tell quick. They look at your eyes. I think that's us, who you are. And then.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think.
Well, definitely cats do.
Cats, dogs are very dead white type people. Dead white to people. They'll keep away or they'll bark or something with people. Cats, very cautious people, independent creatures. So.
Yeah, cats are so different to dogs. Cats just.
Yeah, the dog is like, come on, give me love. The cat's like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, it's always on their terms. Yeah, I've always wanted to get a cat up.
No, it's the only animal that kills for fun. Fuck that, bringing boards home.
It kills for fun.
It is. It's the only animal that hunts for fun.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll bring a board as a gift. Like, I'll drop a board outside your door as a gift.
Aaron, you need to get a cat. He'll bring a board home for you. That's what we need. That's where we went wrong in life, Aaron. We need all the help in life we can get. Aaron's the social media guru. We just haven't got around for Kev, the technical legend. Kevin's a technical legend. That's the team we have. Me, Kev, and Aaron. Me, Aaron, and Kevin.
You can daddy self, man.
I'm gonna. Well, the transfer window is open for another 2 weeks, so I think I might trade them in and get a new crew. I'm only joking.
You have a good crew around you.
I have a good crew around me. Come here, before we get into the interview, I remember I was talking to you on the phone the other day or last night. Tell us a song or a film that means something to you, that's significant, and why?
Right, I suppose a song would be Bad by U2.
Yeah.
Bono done it in '85, kind of in Live Aid, and just, I don't know, he excelled himself and excelled the band, and he made himself there. But that song is just quite significant because it's about heroin and Dublin in the like '80s, '90s, and it's just, if I could tear myself to set your spirit free, if I could tear myself into to set your spirit free, like if I could be somebody else, because you can't understand addiction, you can't understand drugs, you can't understand another person's life, you can't, that there's a mad emotion, I don't know what the word is called, but where I can't put myself in your shoes and feel your feelings. It's a mad emotion that I have that I can't, it's indescribable. There's a lot of emotions that are indescribable, and that's one of them. But like, to set your spirit free would be like to let you go and to get you free of addiction and to get you out of Dublin or get you out of flats or get you out of problems where the drugs are. And it's just, I always found that kind of beautiful. And I lost my mother to suicide, so there's a part that's like colours clash and collide with bloodshot eyes.
Pull that mic forward a little bit.
And it's just like the colours clashing and colliding and bloodshot eyes is like the beauty of the eyes, and then the drugs making the eyes bloodshot, and it's just kind of a beautiful mess in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Fantastic.
So,
Deadly, I love it. I've actually never even heard that song. I wouldn't be a big U2 fan, but
I wouldn't be. I would be, but I wouldn't be a big fan of Bono. But sure, he is what he is.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I've asked Chris to come on the show because he has the Facebook page, AMFM, but also he has an inspiring story that he has a great experience of life, and I want you to share that with us. But before we get into that, just tell us a little bit about the Facebook page.
Right, I started the Facebook page.
How's it going?
Well, how's it going? Jesus. From the start to now, incredible. It's had stops and starts, but in the past, I don't know, since Paddy's Day, I looked at the numbers and it was 42,000. And it's jumped to 14,000 extra, so it's 56,000 now.
Wow.
And it's just so positive. New members, like, it's a very faceless kind of thing because there's so many people in it. And I have two other girls running it, two ex-alcoholics actually, and they're sober 4 or 5 years respectively each.
Brilliant.
And they're both in London. One's an Irish girl, one's a pure Cockney.
So one's Lorraine, is it?
One's Lorraine, she's an Irish girl, and she's 4 or 5 years clean, I'm not exactly sure.
Brilliant, well done, Lorraine.
And she's out in Clontarf, and she's a lovely girl. She runs her shift, she works in a hospital in London, I don't know the exact name. But she's there, and Lorraine, or Nicola, the other girl, her son recently had surgery on his eye, and we found out he had a fluid on his brain. So she had a story covered for him on BBC. She's 5 years clean. She's just amazing. She lost her dad last year. It was very sad. And I have another administrator called Eva. She's not really present on it at the moment because she lost her brother there recently. She lost her dad last year. So
wow,
she's had a fucking tough old time.
Tough out.
But we've all gone through our shit as running the team. So we're all going through our shit, and we try and be as real as possible. And that's where it's at now. It's real because it's real. I can't really say any more than that. We're honest, and it's very positive amongst people. It's not kind of disingenuine or bullshitty. It's authentic and it's real, and people feel that, and that's why it's so positive. And you know yourself with Facebook and social media, you can be ruined in the morning.
Yeah, of course.
And it's kept going 3 years, so.
Yeah. When did you started in 2016?
I started in 2016 on the back of a fucking napkin and fingers.
Did you?
Just there. I done rehab for weed. I struggled with weed, and I done 3 weeks in a place called the Lantern in Garrettstown, run by the Peter McFerry Trust, which is a big plug. But fuck, that man saved my life many times. But anyway, I done the rehab and I came out and I just found the real world hard without my normal crutch of weed. And the only thing that worked for me in the Lantern was mindfulness. A woman called Natalie from Ballymun, she was a huge alcoholic and then just turned her whole life around. And Peter McFerry entrusts people that have come through the shit, and he helps a lot of people. So like Natalie was helping people after her problems. So I find it was hard or experience when you're dealing with rehab or anything like that. I found that experience is a bit more genuine and authentic to help you in your progress as a recovery like. So I learned an awful lot. Mindfulness was taught to me there, and I just sitting in fingless in a McDonald's. I was like, what can I do to give back? Because I had a bad experience. I had a slip and I nearly died. I call it an overdose, but I wouldn't call it like a suicide attempt. It was just I was lost. And I just wanted to give something back because I had my experience that we talked about that in the cafe.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a
We're
bit.
touching that in a bit, but I found that I had to give something back. I just had to give something back because I felt like I was living before I had all the problems. I was working for fucking nearly 8 years. I was straight arrow dart, smoking my weed, but still I had the money to get it, and I was working like an arrow dart. Got married, had a kid. You know, I lost.
Brilliant.
I became selfish in the sense that I bought into that whole world. I didn't help people anymore. I helped myself and helped my kid and helped my ex-wife and shit.
It's amazing that, like, in a downturn in your mental health, or your forces, that you want to dig deep and you want to help other people.
It's like who'll stay or who'll scatter.
Yeah.
And I found that the people that are in the quagmire of life are the ones to stay, and they help you because they've been through the shit themselves.
Yeah, it's a fantastic Facebook page, and it's very relevant. When I open the page or look at any of the stuff that you have, it's always something that's going on in my life. It's not some of the.
I found that a lot as well. People say that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that comes up, and they're like little signs, and it's really beneficial. Could you share with us maybe some of the benefits or the responses from your followers that you've had?
Oh Jesus Christ! I've been brought to tears a couple of times, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the gratitude of it, because like I've been through my shit, and then people have the bravery. Like I don't know. Somebody said to me, "Do you find that it helps people?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I must be Billy Big Balls to actually do all this shit." And then people view me on the negative sense of it being like narcissist or egotistical, and you're like, "Fucking hell, you can't win." But I'm just putting myself out there to help people to be as real as possible. And when I get the responses back off people like, I don't know, I needed that today. I just left my husband. After 20 years, it was a disaster. I got out. And she got out and she read something that day on the page, was like, I don't know, something I wrote was like, she was a diamond because she embraced all the pressure. Do you know? And like if she read that and got a bit of a spark of fucking genius and got out of that situation, that's my day's work done. And I'm not looking for anything in return.
Yeah.
I've had people with lupus, I've had people with cancer, I've had people come back and say, this page is the only thing that keeps me going daily. And it's weird. I just latched onto a particular group of people that they don't need that every day, but they need that inspiration. And I'm one of them people that need that inspiration every day.
Yeah, no, I do. I look at signs now. If I pick up, like, I have a poetry book over there, and sometimes I just open it randomly, and it will have something that's significant to what's going on in my life right now. And I go, what? That's nuts.
But where attention goes, attention flows.
Yeah, myself and yourself talked about that.
So, like, whatever mode you're in, that will manifest itself. And if, like, without fucking, I want €1 million or something like that shit won't happen. But things like helping a homeless fella, or, I don't know, a woman crossing the street, and I want to help crossing the street, and she's going to get knocked down. Do you know, helping simple things transverse into other things outside of that. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, like, you want the job, you got it, based off things that you've done throughout
small little actions.
So that's where
led you on the path to this.
And that's the attention goes, attention flows. Because it's like the universe. You are the universe. You're made of the same fucking shit as the stars, like so.
Yeah, I love it, and it's really poignant. Even just the podcast stuff that we did. We did an interview recently with Fran Dempsey, and I've got a load of texts and calls on social media, and people saying, wow, I just listened to that podcast and exactly what I needed right now. It's really keeping me alive. It's like some of them are really deep and powerful messages that I was like, that's what we're doing this for. That's what we're serving our community. We're being leaders within it, and it's deadly. It's like, I don't take from that, or I'm doing great. No. I just think this conversation is helping somebody, and I don't think it's me. Yeah. The same with your page. I know that you're not a narcissist and egotistic motherfucker.
It's actually funny. I was watching Harry Potter. The 7 Harry Potters, would you believe
Someone tell me to watch that.
Fuck me, man. Anyway, I was watching the past 7 of them, and Harry Potter at the end, because it's all about him. It wasn't about him, it was about the bigger cause.
Right. So I've never watched any of those.
It's just a prime example, like at the end, like it was all about the bigger cause. It's not about anybody, it's about the whole thing. It's about the whole collective consciousness moving forward, really.
Oh, I love the whole collective consciousness. It's deadly, isn't it?
Consciousness as well.
Yeah.
Like, I find it funny, the word science is in consciousness. And it's actually not a fucking science when it should be. You know, psychology, it's not really deep into consciousness, real consciousness, in terms of, I don't know, how would I say it? I meditate and I went down that path. So if you connect into the kind of God consciousness or the creator consciousness, whatever the fuck put you here, I believe that if you kind of just try and connect into that for 10 seconds, Jesus Christ, the overwhelming energy you get from that, and dismiss your ideas of God, Buddha, some elf fella sitting on a cloud with a fucking harp, or some mad cunt chopping people's heads off. Dismiss all that. It's you. You are God. What does it Plato say? God is within us.
Absolutely. And I was listening to an interview with Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
I think he was talking to Oprah, or so he was translating the Bible back, because the Bible has been translated so many times, and it's lost in translation, actually the meaning. And when he talked about heaven, he talked about heaven being up here, but what he was trying to say, and it's an empty space.
Yes.
So he's trying to describe it so we'd understand that we can contextualize it. It's like open space, but he meant within us. It's an open space within us, and so God and space is within us, and the kingdom of heaven is within us. And it's this. There was another one he was talking about, was repent. And repent just means turn around. And what it means turn around, turn back into you.
Yeah.
So the answers lie within you. And I was like, man, that's mad. I thought, like, when you read the Bible, you would think it's something totally different. It's opened my eyes now to praying and God and the Bible. I don't think it's all about the Catholics and the Jews and the Muslims. I just think God is within you, and it's really.
Have you heard of the third eye? You're aware.
Yeah.
Well, it's an old belief. Well, it's an actual fact. There's a part.
Do you reckon the pineal
gland is actually an eyeball that looks inward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savage.
And they reckon that fucking the calcification of the water and all that shit is to numb it and to stop you having, like, do you know deja vu?
Yeah.
Near death experiences, things like that. The L calcium calcifies the brain and stops you from experiencing what you really are, kind of a consciousness.
Nuts. I was only listening to an interview the other day, and we were talking about DMT and this whole near-death experience, that there's more death, or there's more DMT produced around these experiences. Do you reckon that's where it comes from? I was only talking to my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, the other day, and her auntie's not well, and she's going through a bit of a bad time. Okay. And I found myself saying to her, which I'd never said to anyone in donkey's years, I'll pray for you and I'll pray for your family. But I didn't mean that I'm going to go down to church and pray. No. Although I did probably want to, I actually wanted just to pray that I wish her well, I wish her kindness, and I wish her family well.
Do you know what I mean?
And that never was in my consciousness.
But you're aware
for
of
years.
it, so that is a prayer. Because, like, you have 60,000 thoughts a day. More or less, 60 to 100,000, depending on how mad of an overthinker you are. 10,000 of them could be the
I'm 160
then. I'd say myself as well. But, like, most of them thoughts are directed towards your kid, towards your life, towards your work, towards your status, towards your paranoia about yourself within society, all this weird shit. But if you have, like, even 100 thoughts for that girl or for that person that was ill, that is, in a sense, it's a prayer, because you're genuine about it, and it's really in your head. And you're saying, Jesus, I hope she gets better. You're potting around doing your work, and you're like, I hope she does better. And it really works. It works. And it's not like fucking, I don't know. I get a lot of bullshit off.
I listened to another episode in this. I follow this guy. I follow this podcast called The Innovation Show by Aidan McCullum, and he had this scientist on, and they done this study about the effect of prayer. So they prayed for, say, a group of women are going through. So they prayed for one that were going through IV, and another ones they didn't pray for them. And the ones that were going through the IV that they prayed for, wished them well, they had a huge success rate. A huge success rate.
They done a thing in Japan where they took ice water and they put positive thoughts over one and they put negative thoughts over the other. The positive thoughts one created a perfect fucking snowflake. And the negative one was all messy and dull and obviously out of sync with the symmetry of the original. Yeah, it's just kind of like a prayer. Again, positive thoughts.
It's unreal, isn't it?
It's madness.
Do you ever get in your mind, when you wake up some days, your mind is a little bit scrambled, a little bit all over the place? Sometimes mine are significantly different, and things will just automatically happen in correspondence to the way my mind is thinking. Like, something might happen at work, something might happen in the shop. It's nuts.
The universe can scream at you, man. I'll tell you the finest example. I didn't tell you about this in the cafe, but with my little one, like, I'm separated with my little one a couple of years. Like, her man, I'm separated for fucking 6 years now, 7 years in January, December, whatever. But I woke up one day, I was living in a hostel for 3 years in Sandy Cove, and I woke up one morning bawling, crying. I swear to fuck, I was just bawling all day. And I don't know what drove me to get on the dart from Sandycove. Got off in Pierce, which I never do because I always get off in Tara or Connie. Got off in fucking Pierce, walked into the church in Pierce Street, still bawling, took mass, never take mass in my life, and it wasn't even, I'm not even directed towards God, I just needed a hierarchy or a patriarch. Went in, watched the Italian priest give mass, bawling all through it, went up to him, asked him for humble confession, yeah, and went in, done my confession, walked out, 4:30 on a Friday evening, right, in the middle of town, you know yourself, it's fucking packed. Chris, who do I turn around and see? My ex-wife, my kid, and our the fella she cheated on me with. I had to accept him there and then as part of my daughter's life. And I accepted it there and then, and that was the universe screaming to me to stop being so immature and to accept responsibility that we were separated and that she moves on and that my daughter's like living with a new fella and that I have to take my role to not replace his father figure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the universe screaming at me to wake up like, you sap, wake the fuck up. And
Wow.
I had to listen to that shit and it worked. It fucking worked. I've had people say to me, how the fuck do you deal with that? I'd have no patience. And I'm like, it's for the greater good. It's for my kid.
Yeah, I always say that's the bigger picture. It's it's the long game, isn't it?
It is the long game.
Can you take us back a couple of years? Tell us a little bit about your childhood, growing up, where you grew up, difficulties you might have had, and that kind of stuff.
I was born in Blanche. I was born on the 1st of the 1st. It's weird. I'm very into numbers. So I was born on the 1st of the 1st in 111 Whitestown Avenue, in Dublin 15 Blanche. But all the ones, and I don't know, my mum and dad kind of went through a rough patch. She was taking a lot of Valium. She couldn't really struggle. 4 boys, one of them being David. my oldest, he had a lot of problems with heroin and drugs and stuff like that. So unfortunately, she had to deal with him. But anyway, long story short, we moved to a place called Bronxtown in Trim when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and then my father left, and he went to London, and he left the woman with 4 kids, one of them being Dave, and I suppose she couldn't handle it, so we ended up moving to a place called Atboy, where I spent most of my childhood. So Atboy is a small little town. My grandmother lived there, so we moved into the grandmother's house. She died on my bleeding birthday when I was 3 on the 1st. And then about a year and a half later, when I was 4 years old on Valentine's Day, my mother fucking committed suicide, to my belief system anyway. And she overdosed on about 40 Valium, 40 benzos. So, cause she was in a bad place, and it was Valentine's Day. But I found her, and that was a shock experience to me. Like, as a young boy, seeing the only thing that you know gone. So she fell into a fire, and just horrible story. Long story short, we were sitting there with 2 of my brothers were present. My oldest, Doyle, and then Dwayne, he's next in line, and then myself, I'm the youngest. And it was weird because I was looking at Dwayne like, look after me, yeah. And then Dwayne was looking at Darryl, the oldest, like, look after us, will you? And then Darryl was looking down at us, and he was like, fuck, I have to look after these 2 boys. And I'll give it to him, he did. He raised the 2 of us, even though there's 2 years between him and Dwayne, and there's 12 years between me and him. He raised us.
Yeah.
He really did that now, yeah. So, I don't know, school was grand. I was alright at school, I was pretty smart. Oh, you're very bright. You're always very bright. Secondary, I don't know, I went a bit mad when I was about 14.
Similar to myself.
I don't know, I found a pack of cigarettes and then I discovered hash, and I was like, fuck. I went down that path of being a great lad and women and all that stupid shit.
I was only talking to someone yesterday. I didn't know the hash was still around.
It was, yeah.
It's still around now. Like, you can.
Oh, is it?
Like, not that I was looking for it. Someone just said to me.
No, generally, yeah.
I thought it was all just weed. Now I didn't think hash was that.
Mostly weed, yeah. I'd say old school people probably smoke the hash.
Yeah, this lad was talking to yesterday. He said, I just got a block of hash. And I was like, I just thought it was
From
coke and weed.
Morocco.
Yeah, it's gas, isn't it?
But the weed is everywhere, yeah. The weed is kind of, it's stronger in Amsterdam. Anyway, the weed in Dublin, I'd fucking...
Shit that they put into it. How would you describe your childhood growing up? Was it difficult?
Losing my mum was difficult, and then my dad had a new woman come in, so that was even difficult. She was kind of a cold-hearted creature from the west of Ireland.
Did you go and live with him, or Did you
No,
move?
he took over the house when my ma died.
Did he?
He left England. He never told his boy that he had 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, mad bastard. And then he came over with her, and they tried their best, I suppose. I can't really. I mean, I had a bad out relation with him for years. I never spoke to him for about 15 years, and then we got back talking there a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's that been for you?
Growth, progress. It's all about. I don't know. When I became a parent, I never realised that being a parent is so fucking hard, and you'll always be paranoid about not doing the right thing, even though you always are, because you love your kid. It's hard to, yourself. You put your finger on it. It's hard to do the right thing all the time, and you don't know if you're doing the right thing, so you're just so paranoid about raising a child or raising another life.
Absolutely, and I'm back listening to a book called Scattered Minds by Gabor Mate, and it's about ADD in children and adults.
He's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. I love his whole stuff on attunement and attachment, and
would be apart in 10 seconds, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, he's fantastic, and he talks about like the impact of generational pain. You know, the pain of the grandparents onto your parents, and the pain of your parents onto you, and then you onto your kid.
Spilling that disease all over the shop.
Yeah, and it really makes you feel for your parents. If you had a difficulty with your parents or your grandparents, it helps you understand them. Then you're not going, you fecker, you treated me wrong. But they had pain. It's a generational thing.
You're going to get that shit off your kids. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to put your finger on it, and it's hard to make the right decision. But they did their best with what little they know. Same as us.
How's the impact of losing your mom? How was that on you? What was that whole experience like?
Jesus, I don't know how would I describe it. I say it hardened me, and it made me. I suppose Bruce Lee says emotional disattachment from things. I suppose that happened to me, so I never got attached to anything. Never. I got attached to my kid, obviously, because that's a huge important relationship, like a mother figure, child figure, whatever. That's an important part, but everything else in between was not. I just didn't. I didn't connect. I always had a disconnect, and I suppose that kind of got me through really bad times, because I knew that it'll all work out in the end. And I know that's a cliche, but it fucking does. It does work out in the end, and you can't be. They say attention goes, attention flows, and you can't even at that. You can't have too much of an emotional attachment to it. That's the whole Buddhism thing, attachment. You can't have attachment to anything, and it works. It really works. I found Bruce Lee is very inspirational as well. A lot of his quotes, a lot of his work is very inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying about, actually on the topic of kids, he was talking about like, you need to teach your kids things, not to give your kids things. You need to teach them things that you never had. Instead of giving them all this bullshit tablets and fucking iPads and shit, man. You'll teach them, but I won't teach them your way. I won't teach them the real world when they come in, when they take the head up from the tablet and they get bullied or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I find I get better. I get much more benefit and connection with my daughter when I'm explaining something to her, when I'm telling her why I said something or why we do. Like I was having the chats for yesterday. She was staring at she was staring at somebody in a wheelchair, and I was explaining why that's probably not the best thing to do, and explained what it'd be like for the person. And obviously I work in disabilities, people in a wheelchair will feel stared at and they'll feel different, and but it's okay for you as a child to look, because it's different to other things that's around you, and it just catches your eye. But you got to teach your eyes manners. You look and don't keep staring.
I like that.
And that was rich for me. Instead of bringing her into Smith's, buying her a game, and it's over in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but she'll have that for the rest of her life. She'll have a respect, because she knows that he works with people that are disabled and stuff like that, mentally disabled, whatever kind of disability they have. And it's like, she'll have that respect. And she'll have a common ground with them too. Yeah,
and it's great to have them conversations. And I used to do it with my other daughter. I used to think I used to be driving her bonkers. But I know now from our conversation with my 19-year-old, she's just, no, it was brilliant, really good, and a great relationship,
I remember more than a bleeding doll or something.
Yeah, true. You've had your battles with addictions. Can you share us a bit about that?
Weed would probably be my fucking big problem, but I used to work as a printer. I used to work nights and stuff like that, so again, going down that super benzo Valium pack, I used to take 2 or 3 of them. That'd be my night, and I'd work, but I was very good at my job. It just became second nature, because everything in printing was kind of like a process, so I was following the same steps all the time. I suppose, how could I answer that and say the biggest problem when I woke up to that was when my ex-wife left me, and she told me, and she said, you were just stoned all the time you were with me. I was like 6 years gone, even though I had money put away and all that kind of shit. I had nothing really to show for it. I had my daughter, yeah, I had money put away, but I had nothing to show for it. I had no inner growth, I had no progress internally. I was still in the same position, doing the same thing. Obviously, money was going up. There was no, I didn't break out of that. And then when I woke up, I fucking broke out of it. When I woke up and stopped and went to rehab and done my shit, I got a job in UCD teaching printing.
Where did you go to rehab?
I went to rehab in a place called The Lantern.
As you said earlier.
Yeah, it's run by the Peter McVeigh Trust, and it's in Garrettstown. And I fucking it's a house where it's kind of split in two. So you'll have people that are coming off like heavy heroin addicts would have 100 mil of methadone a day.
Did you take heroin or were you just benzos or
I was just
anything?
benzos. I had an overdose on heroin by accident when I was at my lowest, when I had nothing left. Like I fucking came out of rehab. I'd done really well. I fucking slipped.
You got the job in UCD.
I got the job in UCD. I slipped on a fucking bag of weed, and then that day I lost.
You found it. I
read found
it.
A bag of weed.
Found a bag of weed.
Just the universe testing me. You see, the universe will test you as well. Of course, I failed, and again, I lost my fucking apartment because I needed to keep the job to keep the apartment. It was a drug-free apartment, but I lost the apartment because I failed the urine, and I lost the job because they found out that I was the dean of the university in the area found out that I was in number one in a certain area in Glasnevin, number one, and number one and number two were known as drug-free houses. So the dean was number fucking 17. Again, the fucking universe. So I suppose you don't really lose things, you gain things. So I realised that I could reach the pinnacle of my career when I'm sober. And I realised that I could do a lot of great things when I'm sober. And then you lose it all in a heartbeat. So the heroin, when that came into it for the accidental overdose, it was a fucking Jesus. I just lost the apartment and lost the job, so I was put into this kind of a residential drug-free house as a kind of a stopover, because you're going back onto the streets, you're going back into the hostels, which I just came from, and that was a fucking nightmare. So you're going back into the hostels in your head, and you'll do anything to fucking numb that fucking pain, because it's horrible in the hostels in Dublin.
Yeah.
It's really horrible, yeah. They be fighting each other for fucking, I don't know, smoke and shit like that.
Clothes being robbed, your gear. You have to sleep on your runners.
Bags being gone through, sleep with fucking your runners underneath the post your bed so they don't be moved. Just mad shit. But I went through glitch free, like I had no fucking issues. It was weird. I had more problems living in town now than I did in the fucking hostels. But when you lose everything, I realised that it doesn't really matter. But the heroin, I was in a football pitch in fucking Huntstown, and one of the lads in the residential where I was just plopped, he said, come on in. And I was like, alright. So I went down after about 8 9 months clean and just a little slip on the little bag of weed I found. I fucking OD'd in the middle of a football pitch. Two joints, I think 2 Valium, and fucking about half a line of heroin, which I smoked, and it was just terrible. But I walked for about 100 metres, gone. Clean as fuck, and just gone then.
It all just hit you.
All just hit me. Seen the light.
Yeah.
Really seen the light, yeah.
Talk to us about that experience. What was that like?
Fuck, that was mental. Alright. Like, I was consciously unconscious, and I was in the middle of a football pitch in the middle of July. I was like a fucking burger when I woke up. I was cooked on one side. And I remember I had money in my sock because I was living in a hostel, so I was very conscientious of money and not being robbed. So
Street smart.
Trying to be. Fucking, you wouldn't think it, but I was trying to be. Put 300 quid in my fucking sock. I was robbed anyway with 300 quid in my phone. But I remember seeing people going by me.
Hold on for a second. That's it going off, is it?
So yeah, it's not flashing around.
What's it going off? When did it go off?
Power.
Doesn't know it's there.
What free is that? Sorry.
The power of it. Is it? Brother. Is it? Brother. Is it? Brother. Is it?
Press recording as well.
Right. Anyway, it was a weird experience because I was looking at the brother next to me, Dwayne. He's 8 years older than me, and then the next fella to him, Dwayne was looking at the older fella than him, 2 years older than him. So it was weird. Then the oldest fella was looking down, and the two of us like, fuck, I have to look after these 2 motherfuckers, and we were looking at him to look after us. So when you lose your mother like that, it's just fucking a shock to the core, especially from my oldest brother because he was extremely close to her. And I suppose primary school was good. I was a well-behaved kid, very bright apparently. Secondary, I went a bit mad at 14. I found a packet of John Player Blue and 10 cigarettes on the chair beside me, and I discovered the joys of hash and then being a fucking EJ. And women. It's ironic, I never got any woman in my school, but I got, when I went to a little nightclub, it was called Buck Mulligan's. It was a nightclub that all the people in Mead used to go to from the outskirts, like, to come in. And there was women there, but never in the school. They must have known I was a bit of a cunt. I think they were dead white to me.
What was the impact of losing your mum? What was that like on you?
Jesus Christ. They say you become a man when you lose your kid. It hardened me, I suppose.
I'll just move you near to the mic.
It just hardened me, I suppose, in the sense that everything I knew I lost in that moment. So it desensitized me towards people. It made me that emotional disattachment. We was discussing about Bruce Lee. I didn't get too involved then with people. I suppose I have a lot of abandonment issues because of that. Like, I lost my mum when I was 4. My dad went before that. Then when I was, like, as an adult, my ex-wife cheated on me. Last year I lost a baby to a girl that I had a child with. She took the child off with her to fucking Malaysia. So a lot of abandonment issues kind of creep up for me a lot. So on the subject of down the line depression, that's where that would come in. So abandonment issues are a big thing. But I tried to be as emotionally detached from things as much as possible.
As you say, the Buddha principle.
The Buddha principle, because attachment leads to pain and suffering.
And we were talking, I was telling you about Gabor Mate.
Yeah.
He's a book called Shattered Minds, and there's loads of talk about attachment, attunement, abandonment, sense of grievance, coming from generational pain, as in the grandparents doing to the parent and the parent doing to you, and
the disease again spreading.
Yeah, and it's not about blame, it's about understanding. You know, it makes it easier for you then to understand your parents. It makes it easier for them to understand their parents. But people don't even look at that. It was only from my reading, a book that I have up there called Perfect Love, Imperfect Relationship, and it makes me understand what it was like for parents. Whether you feel abandoned or whether you feel unloved. But
definitely, like us, as parents, we're struggling ourselves daily, to know if you're doing the right thing. I'm sure they were 10 times more worried about it.
I wish that all parents would read this book. I wish all parents would read that book on Shattered Minds. It might make life a little bit easier for you to understand your pain, so then you don't pass it on to your kids.
Well, I heard somewhere, like, the way you are is 95% because of the environment you're in. Like, your environment is 90% of you, so your DNA and all your idiosyncrasies and psychotic tendencies are based on your environment growing up. It's not really much of your parents. It's their part because they're part of your environment.
Of course.
And about 4 or 5% is genetic and shit. The rest is environment.
Yeah, your DNA is the loaded gun, but the environment pulls the trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a deadly podcast.
Yeah, wow, excellent. Fucking, I love that.
There's a deadly podcast again. Aidan McCullen, he does it with a guy called Bruce Lipton, and he talks about this whole the DNA and the environment, and he grew a couple of cells in a petri dish, one to distinguish how they turn out, and environment was the greatest factor. To determine the outcome of it. So what he was doing was, the interview was called The Biology of Thoughts. So how your thoughts create your environment inside your body, and how your environment creates impact your DNA. So that if your proponent is to think negative all the time, if your go-to place is negative, that changes your biology on the inside. But if you practice being positive, you practice mindfulness, you change your internal environment. It was a really profound interview.
A lot of self-talk as well, isn't it?
That's your internal dialogue and all that. That creates your... When people think of environment, they think smog and the ozone layer.
Yeah,
when I think environment, I think of my environment, my
like
internal.
Dublin, where you're born, where you're raised, what you're doing, what you're not doing.
Yeah. Can you share us a little bit about your battles with addiction?
I used to work as a painter, so I do nights and I do a monotonous task of the same process over and over again. So I found that when I was working, I discovered the joys of valuing myself, and I take 1 or 2 just to numb and just to go through the day. But I suppose I had a wake up call about 6 years later when my ex-wife left me and cheated on me, obviously, as I explained earlier. But I had that wake up call to come out of the zone. I got as far as I could, I thought, at the time in my career. But then I found when I became sober and I came into reality, I found that I got a job in UCD teaching, and without a H-dip, which is fucking phenomenal. I was teaching 3D printing. The only reason I got it was on merit of the fact that I fucking was a printer and that I was a bit outside of the box and a bit street smart on the interview. And I bypassed 2 aerospace engineers, so then I realised that I could be, as Guy Ritchie says, master of my own kingdom. Do you know? And I was, and I had not left to prove anymore. But being sober made me realise that I can fucking definitely become king of master of my own kingdom without bullshitting yourself for years, as I know you did when you're intoxicated or you're stoned or whatever you like to call it. And yeah, I became master of my own kingdom.
And how did that all work out for you? I know that you had problems with the Dean.
I had problems with the Dean. Oh Jesus! Fuck.
He didn't live too far from your house, did he?
I had a slip. I had one slip, and then I done fucking 2 urines in the drug-free house that I was staying in, and I lost the apartment. And I was in the university, and I was brought in. I was after doing a report for. I was supposed to have 600 people in an exhibition during the summer, and I got 4. And they made me write a report. They found out all about me drug-free and being in rehab and recovery. They just didn't say it yet. But they made me write a report on why I didn't get 600 people, why I only got 400 in the middle of July in a fucking university. Like, nobody's got to go to university or school during the summer. But I've done the interview and they're like, oh, I had the meeting, sorry, and they were like, oh, you need to have more mentoring. So I lost my job, lost the apartment the same weekend, and I was stuck into a residential unit in Blanche. And so things again went shit up. No matter where you are, things can always hit rock bottom. No matter who you are or what you are as well.
You spent a bit of time floating around in hostels. And
I spent a good chunk of it.
And was that difficult? Were they difficult?
It was difficult because you have to ring this hotline, 1800 777 777. I know that by heart, betting to me head, tattooed on me. You ring this at about, you have to ring this, you can ring at 10 in the morning and you can ring before 2. And you might not get a bed, and you can be put in, like, all hostels, like, they're not great, and they're not like fucking 5-star hotels, but you can be put in one where you're in a single room to yourself, which is a lot more safe. And you're not, like, if like me, I only had really an issue at that time with the weed and no other drugs, thank God. I dealt with the Valium and put that to bed. But when I slipped on the weed and like you're in a hostel in a single room on your own and nobody can touch you. But if you're sharing a 6-man room, which I was, nasty, because you're getting robbed. There's people having fights. They're fighting over fucking cigarettes or socks. Your bags are getting robbed. Your bags are getting gone through. I was trying my best to get up back up on my feet. So what happens in the hostel system is you ring that number, you get your bed, you do that. If you're lucky enough the next night or the third night, you get your bed again. Then they put you onto a thing called a rolling bed, which means you can have that for 3 or 4 weeks until you get, I don't know how you call it, like a permanent, independent, residential emergency accommodation. That's what I would call it. But fucking, I was put into a place in Sandycove. I got blessed. I landed on my feet. And it's just ironic when I said earlier that people run or people stay or people scar. The people that didn't help me when I was homeless and sleeping rough and when I was on my bollocks, like I was going out with a girl at the time, kind of on and off, but like she never had me proper stay over. She never had that fact that I'd stay over. But then when I fucking got the apartment in Sandycove, in a nice enough area in Dublin, she was like, you always fucking land on your feet. You always get fucking everything handed to you. And I was like, do you really think that I like spent since November sleeping rough and going in and out of shit and dealing with your crap that I've been fucking landing on my feet? And I was a bit miffed. But it made me realise that there's a lot of jealousy out there. Even for things that people get and they deserve, there'll always be haters or there'll always be some kind of negative aspect or spin on it. So, fuck it, I landed on my feet.
If that's what it looks like, but you had to go through hard times. I don't see it as landing on your feet.
No. It's just a bit of progress on the next step to getting better in the bigger picture. We're all trying to get better. All of us are trying to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good chat last week about your near-death experience. Could you share that with our listeners?
Well, when I lost the UCD job and the residential house in Glasnevin near the Dean, bastard.
You were in number 1 and he was in number 17, was it?
Yeah, he was dead boy to me. He was like, you're at recovery, aren't you? I was like, fuck off.
It was a drug-free house.
It was a drug-free house, and he was dead boy to me. But sorry, where were we? What were you asking?
We were talking about your near-death experience.
Oh, your near-death experience. When I lost that and fucking I slipped, I fucking was in a residential gaff in Huntstown, and the guy in the gaff was like, come on, downstairs, we go for a walk. So we went to the gaff was in Carpenterstown, and the football pitch where like over to us was in Hunstown. But anyway, we went there. I smoked 2 fucking joints. I smoked fucking 2 lines of heroin, and I took 2 Fallon. Now I was pretty clean for all that duration from January till July, so that's 7 months proper clean, and I was getting fit. It was a bit of a fitness week. I'm doing a new addiction, yeah. And it boom hit me fucking buff in the middle of a football pitch. I had money in my sock because I was trying to be dead wide in the street and not get robbed, which I got robbed. Which doesn't fucking work, trying to think outside the box. I got my phone robbed, but it was funny. I was just lying there and I could see people walking by in my consciousness. Even though I was out cold, I could see people walking by and not doing a fucking tap. And then
How long were you lying there for?
I went out at about 12 in the afternoon, midday, and I think I was there till about 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And I was just,
no one came over and helped
it
you?
was the fucking hottest day of the year. It was like a burger cooked on one side, man. It was fucking madness. But my mum...
Were you face down, face up?
No, I was on my back looking up. And
Right.
my experience, like, I was lying there and I could just fucking see these people walking by. I don't remember getting robbed, but obviously something that was in my consciousness was robbing me. But like, you know when you're in the dentist and you have the light in your face, and then kind of Alien X-Files programs where heads stick around. There was these figures, white figures, just sticking their heads around that light. And I read later on that light is the consciousness, God consciousness. But I swear to God, it is the moth to a flame kind of thing. I was going towards the fucking light. And I was just like, this is great. And I felt alone. And they reckon that you don't feel, or you don't have these like mad moments of life flashing before your eyes. You feel what you made people feel. So because of my abandonment issues we were just talking about, I pushed people away and I made myself feel alone in that darkest moment. So that's what I felt I made people feel throughout my life. Because I got hurt so much by the fact that my mother died and the whole abandonment shit, I pushed people away. So I was lying there and I could see these figures coming around the light, and I was going towards it like a moth to a flame, and I was just heard this voice. It was like, get the fuck up. It was like somebody calling me for school, you know, that kind of, get the fuck up. You're late, fucking mass, get up for mass. But I swear, I never knew her voice because I was very young. I couldn't really remember my mom. But it was a female voice, and she was like, get the fuck up, get the fuck up. You're not done yet, you're not finished yet. I swear to God, it was like somebody fucking plunged me hard with adrenaline. I just got the fuck up, and I was walking from Carpenters, or Hunstown where the football pitch was, to Carpenterstown, which is about 2 kilometres, 3 kilometres. I swear to God, it was like walking on the fucking moon. Because I had so much drugs in my system. I had barbiturates, opiates, and fucking cannabis in my system after being clean for so long. But just that overdose experience, it is a consciousness. It is a greater power. It is a bigger power. And it made me realise that we're part of a bigger fucking deal. And that light is the consciousness. And that light is in you, as you were talking about earlier with Gabor Mate.
Absolutely. So where did you go from there? What was the next step?
I went through.
Did you go back to rehab?
No, I went into hostels again, and I was just kind of getting sick of this fucking shit after the overdose. And then I went through a 6 man room rolling bed hostel. I was explaining the rolling bed there. So I done 6 weeks of that, and I ended up in Sandy Cove.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I got a 2-bed apartment in Sandy Cove, fucking 18-foot ceilings, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and my own independent freedom, like coming in and out as I wished. But I had to be home by 11. There was no people allowed to stay over, and there were certain rules because it was emergency accommodation. But I bleeding broke down crying when I went in there because the guy, lovely guy, the manager of the place, he was like, you fucking no problems, you only smoke cigarettes out that window, any other drugs, you're gone. And I was like, yes, there's no drugs in this place. There's no heavy drugs, there's no shit. And I spent 3 years there.
Yeah.
Until I got my own flat in town a year and a half ago.
Brilliant.
I'm blessed in the street. I'm blessed.
And we're in an amazing Polish cafe around the corner that we met for something.
Fucking lovely, man.
Delicious.
Them Polish boys know how to cook an Irish fry.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. What do you think got you through these tough times? You know, all these tough times you have, all the hardship. What would you reckon that got you through that?
I don't know. Years ago, I was in my 30s, I was like in the hostel when I was 15. I left home with 15, and I came up to Dublin, and then I went to Drogheda for about 3 years. But I remember him screaming at me, and he was like, "Nothing lasts forever," and I was like, "Fucking hell, nothing does last forever." So that's what's kept me going. It's like that moment. If it's going to be 3 or 4 months of shit, it's not going to be forever. It's going to be 3 or 4 months of shit, and you can tolerate that shit because I've dealt with extreme shit in my life, so I can deal with that at that moment, and nothing can get worse than that, and nothing lasts forever. And I read something in rehab. It was like the only thing to fear is fear itself.
We talked about this.
We talked about that.
Worried about worrying.
Worried about worrying and just overthinking and eating yourself alive and letting your insecurities eat you alive. And there's no point in it. You need to kind of let it flow. Now, I've mental health issues in terms of depression and inner self-worth issues, but like, at the end of the day, it won't last forever, and I will get out of it. So, like, if I am struggling with depression, like, for example, if I don't brush my teeth, if I don't get up and have a shower, if I fucking don't do anything that day, don't do anything worthwhile, I will try and keep a cosh on it by brushing my teeth. Because then I know I'm slipping.
Structure.
I know I'm slipping. Yeah,
routine.
I have to keep it. I have to keep it. If I don't keep it, I'm bollocks. I'm going back into that, staying in bed all day, smoking weed all day, not doing a tap, thinking the worst of myself, eating myself alive. I can't be at that. I have to be doing shit. I have to be doing shit.
People in work slag me about me being routine. They say, "What are you having today, Matt?" I say, "Turkey rice and curry." Turkey rice curry. When I come home, I have toasted bread and steak. Toasted bread and steak. I go, why do you do that? It's part of my routine. Because if I don't do this, I'll go down to Tesco and I'll buy a bag of M&Ms and I'll buy jellies and I'll buy all things, and that'll be part of the old me that used to do those things. And it's not because I'm trying to be super healthy and I'm trying to be, a health guru. It's about the structure. It's about routine. Because if I don't, I'll regress.
You need to keep a caution yourself. It's a lot of bollocks, isn't it?
Absolutely. Did you ever have the attempts of suicide? Did you ever try? Or
I thought about it a few times. When I got homeless first, I was fucking on the quays in town on the boardwalk, looking between the boards on the boardwalk, and I was like, Jesus, do you know what? It wouldn't be too bad if the world was without me. And that was a pretty dark moment because I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters now, but at the time I'd only Chloe, my eldest, and I was like, Jesus, the world without me and her, do you know what I mean? Pretty fucking sad. So I kind of snapped out on it. Yeah. But I tried to avoid the suicidal thoughts because of my man. That I don't want history to repeat itself.
Fair play to you.
And it's kind of funny because I was talking to my aunt there, and she's in London, and she knows the whole story between my man and my dad. But like, my dad lost his man when he was 7, and I lost my man when I was 4, and we're both unable to express ourselves properly in life. And I had a dream where my mom came to me and she's like, "Forgive your father. He's a fucking idiot. He just doesn't know how to express himself, but he loves you." And that was, again, the universe kind of waking me up, slapping me into reality. And yeah, he was trying his best with what little he had.
Yeah, I think, not stereotyping, but a lot of Irish people, or a lot of people around the world have difficulty around articulating how they feel. They find it difficult around even identifying the thoughts in their mind and what it means, and trying to conceptualize it all, put it together. Don't have the language for it. I really feel for generations gone past.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do with the group. I'm trying to get people to not be afraid to compliment each other without an agenda. Or
I randomly text people, say, "Look, I'm really delighted you did this for me." Or if I see stuff on Facebook that people are doing great work in their community, I'll send them a text saying, "Look, you're a legend, you're doing brilliant." They'll say, "Oh no, I'm just trying my best." But it's brilliant. You're setting yourself apart from the rest of the community that don't want to do that, and it's brave and it's amazing, and I love it. I love practicing gratuity. My gratuitous journal over there. I do it every day.
My girlfriend does that every day.
It's deadly.
Every morning. I don't do it myself. I'm very grateful for my flat. I'm grateful for my kids being healthy. I'm grateful for myself after going through a lot of shit this year with surgery, being healthy. I'm blessed. I'm fucking blessed daily. Like, I'm blessed that I'm sitting here. My heart is consciously beating. I'm blessed that it's doing that. I'm blessed that there's neurons firing and that there's everything working. And it's amazing that we're not grateful for even our own bodies. Like, it's amazing what happens behind all the scenes.
What do you do now to keep yourself well or safe?
I meditate as much as I can, and I try to do 2 types of meditation, which is like introvert and then extrovert. So I'd be on a train or a bus in a mad noisy scenario, but I'd be taking it all in. I'd be in that moment. I'd be consciously aware of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
It is a jungle at that moment, and then I go home and I meditate on myself, and I go into my inner jungle, and then I try and calm that shit down. But it's impossible to meditate. You can just, a lot of people could do it. The masters will probably do it for 15, 20 minutes. This fucking 7 hour shit, that's a little shit. They go into separate thoughts or a different trance state where they are obviously working on their own shit. I try not to empty my mind, because it's impossible to empty my mind.
I've stopped forced now. I do the no manipulation. Whatever it is. I sit down with the intentions. My intention of my meditation, I'm going to practice closing my eyes, but I can open any time. I'm going to practice being still in mind and body, but I can move any time. And then I practice slow, deep breaths. And then whatever that is.
Yeah.
And if my mind drifts off, I bring it back. If it drifts off, bring it back. And when I finish the practice, I go, well done, you've done your best.
That's it.
I don't have any expectations.
I try to get outside help, which would be through the universe. I wouldn't call myself spiritual, but I call myself aware that there is a bigger picture and there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes again that we're not aware of. So what I try to do is like put an eye mask on my face and close my eyes, or open my eyes behind the eye mask, and trick my rods into thinking that my eyes are closed. So I create, I don't know, manifestations or visions or visuals.
I love visualization.
It's like the isolation tank. Have you heard of the isolation
I've done it.
Have you? It's amazing.
It's the, you're floating in water. What's it called? The sensory deprivation tank. Yeah, I've done it. Nuts. My brother got me for a birthday present or a Christmas present the year for last, and I broke up with someone. It was a really difficult time, but I probably would benefit more if I go and do it now, because my mind was a lot scarred down. But it was unbelievable.
You're aware of yourself. When you do it now, you'll be 10 times, you'll come out with like a bleeding He-Man. You'll be like,
nuts.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Nuts.
It's great for you, but it's a lot of people can't sit with themselves. That's the biggest problem with today.
I can do that.
Good. That's where a lot of the health and progress starts, I think. Sitting with yourself and taking accountability for your shit. Nobody takes accountability for the shit anymore. They're all passing the buck. It
was only having a conversation with my mate this morning, Carolyn, and we were just saying, blame is easier than acceptance.
Yeah.
No one wants to turn it around and look at themselves in service of whatever they're doing or the people that they're with. Everyone just wants to point the finger.
And everybody has their war stories, but nobody really looks at their part of the picture of the fucking war story. What they done to take it apart. Like, I separated from my ex-wife. I worked too much. I was doing fucking 15 hours a day, or doing 12 hours Saturday and Sunday shifts, and I was like fucking avoiding the family life, and now I fucking crave it. So,
avoidance of life.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I wasn't taking responsibility, but I was pained away. But that's not really good enough. Time is important. So I learned my lessons. I've been lucky. I don't know. I suppose life has always kind of screamed at me, because I had no mother or no father. So the universe has taken that role from me, if you get me.
Fantastic.
In the sense, I don't know, I'm a bit mad.
We're all a little bit bonkers. Yeah. The podcast has been an amazing journey for me. It's been very therapeutic. The people I've interviewed, this stuff is very relevant to my life right now. Mindfulness, meditation, psychologists, counsellors, all these people I've had on have been very poignant. Has your page, a moment for mindfulness, been that for you? Yeah, well, doing the mindfulness myself has found that I'm in the moment, I'm consciously aware. I'm not depressed too much by going into the past. Now we're all living in the past. And I don't get anxiety by going into the fucking future too much. So the mindfulness page it keeps me grounded, and it makes me realise that I'm not on my own in this journey. There's a lot of people in recovery. There's a lot of people going through not just drug recovery, but emotional recovery from like battered husbands, battered wives, a lot of recovery based from emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. And it just made me realise that you can't just umbrella it with fucking drugs. It's everything. And I realised that everybody's going through their own shit, and I don't know, I'm extremely grateful that I can be brought to tears, because I'm an emotional freak, but it's nice for me to be brought to tears by somebody else's progress and growth, and watching that online, it's amazing. And they're just random, normal people like us. I say nobody's, and nobody even is somebody. You see there, that's my mental health issues coming in with my negative self-talk. That's a lot of work I'm doing. Yeah, but you're aware of it and you're conscious of it. That's the thing. That's the fucking beauty of it. I'm always pulling myself up on things. And the awareness is the mindfulness coming right there to practice. And of course, I listened to me ma the other day. She was talking about going to a physio, and she spent £300 and I was going, and I was a fucking idiot, and I was going, and I was like, hold on a second, man. You didn't know. You're not a fucking idiot. I says, you're not. I says, you went to a professional,
Yeah.
to get professional guidance through a problem you're having, and now you're giving you didn't know, you went open-minded.
Yeah.
And it's catching yourself saying those things. I was only talking to my girlfriend last night, and I was saying, I'm a fucking fool sometimes. And I was like, I shouldn't say that about myself. I just made a mistake. But we do, we jump into that. And I just see my mom doing that. I wasn't trying to be mean to her. I was just saying, you're not a fucking idiot.
No, yeah, you're not a fucking idiot. I'm saying that shit to people around me as well, man. Because I'm doing it to myself. Like, my insecurities eat me alive, but I try not to let them. And
it's about the bigger picture.
It's about the bigger picture. It's about, I don't know, fucking passing on fucking good shit to your kids. I think that's the only thing that kind of keeps me going. If my little one wasn't here, I'd probably be kind of out of the country or bleeding burn, right? I don't know. Or let things get out of hand.
Yeah.
But it's that, like, being aware of pulling yourself up on things. And the whole self-talk thing will be the NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming.
Neuro-linguistic program. I'm trying to get a guy on, Dave Walsh. He diversity, does a lot of diversity work, and he's quite skilled, and he's meant to come on a while ago, and it just didn't happen, but I'd love to get him on to talk about that.
It's a fantastic way of looking at things.
Yeah, absolutely. Reframing and looking at it and
it's so important.
And re-changing the way you say things or ask questions or approach things. It's deadly. I know from following your stuff on Bookface, you do a bit of poetry. Talk to us a bit about that.
Good art therapy, and I'm not an artist. So
well, you are. They are in a sense. Anything creative is art.
Anything creative is art, of course. I'm only kind of the old stereotype of the artist. But what I do is I find that my writing, because I can't express myself and I'm very emotionally detached a lot of the time, I try to write to bridge that gap. And I swear to God, it's like I get channeled or something.
That's me. I do that too. When I'm in a sad state, or I can only write when I'm in a sad state. Like I've written poems when they're just coming out of it's tough time.
Introspective, because you're like, fuck, I wrote that, and then you're looking at the angles of it, and then you're really kind of dissecting yourself more. And it's nice to be able to get it out first. Like I read years ago when I started the whole spiritual thing, this kind of bullshitty thing where, if you have a problem with somebody, to write a letter to them, and then when it's over, like filled with hate, obviously the letter will be burn it and send it off to the universe. But that's again just feeding into that negative aspect of being negative. But I find that my own writing and writing therapy without being negative on purpose is great, just to get it out. Like, I freestyle a lot of my poetry.
Yeah, same as myself. Yeah. Any poem on your mind? I don't remember a lot of my poetry. Anything that you can remember, even if you pull your phone out, I'd like you to share some.
See what's on the leading phone. I've had a few.
Here we go, a bit of live reciting of poetry, Aaron. This is gonna inspire you.
I'll have to take me a minute to get onto this, but fuck.
Yeah, maybe I could share one with you.
Yeah, sure. Ahead.
I have it in here. We'll find one. We'll share poetry. A willy measuring competition.
A willy measuring competition. Here's something I wrote. It's kind of, I write memes as well, and it's kind of like just to cover people, like to make people realize that they're more self-worth, really, that they're more than they actually think they're worth. So it's just kind of like a small meme. She screamed, she cried, and she ended up frustrated with her life. She let the world crush her. She drew no inspiration from her surroundings, so she looked inside. She reconnected with herself. She built her own world through her own perception of reality. She gave more to the less off, and she gave less to the job that demanded more. Her lesson was self-love brings in true contentment and inner joy. So it's kind of like, the name of the page is Playful Poet, but it's
deadly, isn't it?
It's just about wordplay, and then I kind of turn it on its head to make it more poignant, I suppose, to be relevant and to think outside of the box. I've always tried to say that to myself, to think outside of the box and be aware of being aware. And it's coming true in my writing, some of my writing anyway, without being egotistical. I swear to God,
there's another one for us?
I do. It's the only thing I believe that I'm good at. It's actually about fucking Bookface. It's called Likes and Shares, Who Cares?
Deadly.
So everybody's famous, but nobody's known. They're typing on the screen, secretly alone. Making duck pelts on selfie mode, selfishness and self-absorption are lonely roads. We follow trends as ourselves go viral. We're caught up in a social media spiral. It's the blind leading the blonde. If only we knew how we were being conned. So let your battery die and open up your eyes. There's a world beyond likes and shares where real people actually love and actually fucking care.
Deadly. I'm taking that, Aaron. That's savage.
Thanks, man.
That's deadly.
That's a bit light-hearted.
You're doing deadly work, like, you know.
I'm trying. It just comes out of me. I don't know. I bleed it. I suppose this is one of my best.
Go for it.
It's called Stay. Again, the whole abandonment issues coming out here. I think you're the same as me. We live a life of make-believe. We hear melodies that have not yet been heard. The truth you speak is your spoken word. I'm not broke, but you can see the cracks. Let me unwind on you. I want to relapse. You're a shot of cocaine and a rush of speed. Girl, you got me begging in my time of need. So hit me up with your magical touch and we'll exchange small talk and such. But we both see what lies within a tempered spirit born without sin. So let me stay, just for tonight, rewrite history and make it alright. Expose your words and hidden meanings and build a bridge towards your dreams. It's just, again, to think outside the box.
That's lovely.
It's just the rhymes, man. It just looks good.
I like that. I like rhyming poems.
It's just the rhyme. I'd be there in a rhyming fucking app. Rhyme that shit. But it flows a lot.
I like it. It makes it a bit more catchy for me because I love rap music and I like rhyming poems.
Oh, I have a really good rap one here, but it's fucking...
Right, go for it.
It's a bit off the wall now.
This is deadly, isn't it?
It's
mental health, mindfulness, poetry, rap. All we need is Biggie Smalls, then we got a party and a bag of cans.
Yeah. Where is this one, for fuck's sake? I'm trying to find it. That's here. It's called It's Getting Better, Man. And it's about recovery and it's about getting through the hardest days without just realising. It's called It's Getting Better, Man. Anyway. Disillusion, confusion, retribution, distribution, revolution, evolution, absolution, illusion, counter-revolution, seclusion, inclusion, collusion, destitution, institution, my last solution. So, it's about the madness of the world.
That is deadly. Fair play, man. That is class. Love it. Love poetry.
I'm trying to get a book together for Peter McFerry Trust to kind of like a series of coffee table books.
Yeah.
That are in the shape of a jigsaw. So you have to get the four of them to make the whole book. Do you know what I mean? But each one can be read as a jigsaw piece. But you have to get the four of them to make it work. And just donate it all to the homelessness.
Savage. You're doing amazing work, man. I really appreciate it. Giving back to the world.
McFerry is a saint.
Well, we need to get Peter McFerry on the podcast. Have you any influence there?
Yeah, I'll have a chat there and get money.
Yeah, that'd be...
He's mad. In a great way. He'll have about 7 thoughts in his head and you can see the thoughts processing, but he'll talk to you on the flow. But he'll have about 7 or 8 things going on in the background.
Savage. Deadly. Fair play. What's the one thing you would like people to take away after listening to this interview?
That no matter what the fuck happens, no matter where you are, no matter what you're at, what you're doing, nothing lasts forever, and that tomorrow is a new day, and you can restart at zero, and you can start again every day. You can keep going, no matter what the fuck happens. You can keep going. And I've had some mad shit happen to me, and I'm a normal fella in retrospect, and you keep going, and that's it. I've kept going. All I can do is keep going, and you don't live your life for your kids or through your kids. You live your life with your kids, and that's the mistake people make. They like send their kids to piano lessons and all this because they never done it. You just live your life with your kids, and you enjoy yourself, and you be as free as possible within the day-to-day routine. What I want people to take from this is to be content with their lot. You have a lot. Realise that. You've no fucking plastic bottles on the base of your feet walking around for 10 miles for water. You're blessed. You're fucking blessed.
Deadly. There's one thing I probably would disagree with you in the middle of all that. You said you're just a normal guy. I don't think you're a normal guy. I think you're quite special. I think you've got a unique talent. You've got bundles of love and kindness in your heart. You're doing amazing work. You're mindfulness. You're helping people, not just in Ireland. You've spanned across the world.
Yeah,
like 56,000 people think, oh, you know, he's just another Justin Bieber. He just has loads of likes and followers.
No.
But you're doing amazing, significant, heartfelt work, and it's deadly. And I appreciate you giving me your time. I'm absolutely delighted to get you on the podcast, share your poems, share your stories. Deadly, the world is a better place with more people like you in it.
Same for you, man. Same for you. Spreading the word of joyousness and kindness to each other.
That's all. That's my motto every day. When I make a decision, I go, am I choosing love or am I choosing fear?
Yeah, that's it.
Love and kindness or fear, and then I go, no, I'm going to fear the other.
Love is what you have in your heart is the currency that you have for the next life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you have in your heart going into it, you're getting. You're getting your next lot in the next life based on what you have in your heart.
Oh,
You know?
Jesus. Let's start loving each other, Aaron. Let's get more love going. I don't give over. I don't mean that kind of love. No, it's deadly. I just love and kindness now. It's easier for me, and it's easy to recognise that when I'm making decisions, is it making it through fear, or am I making it through love and kindness?
But your life ripples out through it. It becomes way better based off that. It really does. When you look at your kids in a different light, you look at people in a different light, you see their story more.
Oh, yeah, I'm more present for people. I'm more understanding because I'm understanding of myself.
Yeah, they say you become less selfish when you become a parent, but when you wake up to reality.
That's a great one.
It's you become very conscientious. Love is the answer. It is. It fucking is. It's the only thing that makes sense.
There's a deadly book that I bought for my daughter there. It's called The Invisible String. And they talk about we're all connected through love. I read it to my daughter every night when she comes over in bed.
Love.
It just brings me to tears each time that we're all just connected through this invisible string, which is love. And she eats it up. She thinks it's deadly. We're attached to each other with a magical string.
We are. There's a Japanese thing, that similar kind of thing, where they're attached by the string. The person that your other half, you're mentally attached, but we're all attached. It's a collective consciousness, as you're very into.
I love it. I
love it all myself.
Right, so that's a wrap. Thanks for coming on the podcast, you absolute legend.
I'm a legend. You're a legend too, Nice to
give us a hug.
It was good. Sound.